Rev up your engines!
The Go Gaming says, my parents just got a 2019 Mercedes Benz GLC 350 4MATIC. What's your opinion? Do you think it's reliable? I think it's reliable that if they keep it for 10 years, they'll spend an awful lot of money either maintaining it or fixing it as it breaks down. Those things are endless money pits as they age, but if they could afford to buy that, I'm assuming they could afford to fix the thing too. But even my rich customers, most of them wised up and they went and got Lexuses instead of Mercedes because they said, ooh, you know, our Lexus hardly needed any repairs over the 10 years we owned it. And the Mercedes, they look at their receipts and say, you know, we spent like 15 grand fixing that thing. And the Lexus, we spent like $500. So people get rich, not by being stupid a lot of times. So I see a lot of people driving Lexuses these days. American Truck Highway said, what do you think of Tesla's full self-driving computer they put out? The problem with self-driving stuff is it's fine if everything on the road is self-driving and they all communicate with each other. Now, you know, they're all talking about this 5G crap about your phones and everything being able to talk to each other. Well, that's one of the reasons they're building that stuff. So then all the cars could talk to each other. Well, if every car on the road had self-driving technology that was tied in with every other car, it would be a pretty decent system. But you can't have self-driving cars on the road with human-driven cars because humans are insane and you never know what they're going to do. So you're going to get wrecks involving the both of them. And unless they're going to make it a law that you can't drive your own car, I doubt that self-driving cars are going to be on the road for quite some time unless they have lanes only for self-driving cars that nobody else can go in. Chris Nell Prasad says, Scotty, what do you think about Hyundai compared to Toyota in terms of reliability? Well, as I said many times, I'm not a Korean car fan, but that said, they used to be rolling piles of junk, and now they are much better made than they used to be. I've had customers buy them, and they get 100,000 miles pretty much trouble-free out of them. They do cost a lot less, and you know, if you don't mind the way they look and run, if you're the type of person that keeps a car for 100,000 miles and then gets rid of it, you might be happy with it. But if you're cheap like me and want to drive them forever, you won't be happy. Corvette Geek says, Cummins, Power Stroke, or Duramax? You're talking about engines. Here's the thing. The Cummins are great engines. Unfortunately, you're probably talking about when they put them in Dodge products. Well, the Dodge products aren't that good, but those are very good engines. Now, the Power Stroke are okay engines. Ford uses them, and the Duramax are the GM ones, which are probably the weakest of all three. But overall, vehicle-wise, if you were talking about what you want to buy, I'd buy the Ford because overall it's a much better truck than the Dodge or the GM. The Cummins engines are very good engines. In the bubble, ask Scotty, what do you think about electric motorcycles? Well, you know, electric motors are cool because electric motors put out 100% power automatically. As soon as you turn that switch on, away they go. A gasoline engine's got to rev up to a certain RPM to get maximum horsepower and torque, not an electric motor. So they are actually super fast. They have electric drag motorcycles out there that are super fast. The only limitation is the batteries weigh a lot, and so you got to figure out what kind of heavyweight battery can you put to what engine to make it so that it'll go fast enough. How long are they going to go? What's their range? It will all depend on that, basically, what kind of range. And I'll tell you one thing, though, about motorcycles, and I've driven them my whole life since I was a teenager. One way you stay safe on a motorcycle is you get a big one like me, and when it makes a lot of noise, I had a BSA, I had a Norton, I got a Triumph. They're loud. People hear you, and they notice you. If you have an electric motorcycle that's totally silent, they won't hear you, and then they'll pull over in front of you and probably kill you. So they would be inherently dangerous. If I had an electric motorcycle, I'd probably put a speaker system in so that it made room noises so people would hear me. R21 says, Scotty, whenever I turn my steering wheel to the right or left, it makes a squeaky noise. Why is it? Okay, well, if you hear a squeak, I'm assuming that's coming from inside the vehicle. I had a Toyota Camry the other day, and they almost all do it, and it did the squeaking. And what it is that the steering wheel's got a lot of plastic crap in it, and as they age, this was a 16-year-old Camry, the rubber and plastic creaks and squeaks doesn't mean anything. Now, if it's not coming from inside the car, but coming from under the car, then jack it up and see if you got worn tie rods, ball joints, bushings on the control arms, they can squeak. But if it's coming from the inside, it's normally the plastic creaking, and it doesn't really mean anything. But if it bothers you, you could spray some WD-40 because that doesn't hurt electronics, and a lot of times it'll go away for a while. Typical Typical Southerner says, should I spray paint my 93 GMC truck? I spray painted a car once. First car I ever had, an Opel. And in the rain it didn't look bad, but you know, it had orange peels and everything. Spray painting is an art. And one, you got to do it in a sealed atmosphere. You can't do it in a driveway or dust is going to get out. It's going to look like crap. So you got to find a garage somewhere that has a ventilation system that'll suck the fumes out or you will die. That's why the factory paint jobs look the best. They're in a sealed environment and they're done by robots, not even humans. And the robots know when there's so many microns thick of paint, then they stop. So it can be done great by robots. Humans, no, it's a lot harder to do it. But if you got an old beat up truck and you want it to be one color, be my guest. Just realize it's probably not going to look perfect, you know. Mance Nielsen, is a 2000 manual Miata a good first car? Yeah, if you want a small little sporty car, they are fun. Never buy one of those with an automatic. They're piles of junk. They can barely get out of their way. The automatic transmissions break down. They're terrible. But the standard transmission ones are quite dependable. I got customers that have 250, 100,000 miles on them, still driving, and they're having fun with them. And they made so many of them that you can get them pretty cheap. That's a 2000, so it's a 20-year-old vehicle. You'd want to check it out to make sure it was still running good and didn't have any real serious problems. But yeah, they can be fun little cars to drive around in. I've got customers with them and have fun with them. Mohand. No, Rosie says, what do you think about Corvair? Well, Ralph Nader called them unsafe at any speed, but I think he went a little bit too far on that one. They were interesting vehicles. They had 6-cylinder boxer engines like a Porsche 911, and they were air-cooled. Americans and air-cooled engines, the problem is Americans, especially back in the 60s when they started making those things, Americans didn't take care of their cars all that well. If you got an air-cooled engine, you got to take care of it. Because if you run low on oil, the oil not only lubricates the engine, but it cools it because it doesn't have water cooling. So if you ran those things out of oil, the engines would burn out pretty fast. They were kind of weird looking cars as far as I'm concerned. But today, a lot of people collect them. There's a guy in Pennsylvania that bought all the old parts and he makes new parts for them, and a lot of people like them. You can get them cheap enough and fix one up. They're kind of a little collectible cars. They're kind of cute, you know. GM 6-cylinder air-cooled engine in the back. You can get them cheap, maybe have some fun with them. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.